It's a cliche, but it's true. It's halftime.
Yeah.
It's 2-2. Real Madrid obviously will be at home at the Bernabeu, and they'll be at home for 30 minutes of injury time and penalties if required. Maybe they shade it. They were my favorites before because they're a better team.
Like a 51-49 if you want, 55-45.
I'd go for. I mean, if I was to ask you who's a better team, Real Madrid or Bayern, who would you say?
Real Madrid.
Okay.
But then I didn't think they would be 2-1 down after the first half that they had in that game either on Tuesday. I was very surprised how Bayern turned that game around thanks to Tuchel's changes at halftime and things like that. But I was still surprised to see Real Madrid under pressure. And by the way, at 2-1 up, Dyer has 2 headers on the corners that could go 3-1. There's 1 ball for Kane. So there's more chances for Bayern to go 3-1 up before Real Madrid can even think about going back to 2-2.
But I guess my question would be, does it mean that maybe maybe Real Madrid aren't as better than Bayern as we thought before this? Are we remodulating that? Because for me, I'm not going to play the percentage game here, but it's definitely more than 51% for Real Madrid, as I see it right now against Bayern. Because I would also throw in the fact that from Bayern perspective, obviously obviously De Ligt, hopefully he'll be available for the return leg, which I don't, again, it's not just about throwing Kim under the bus, and we'll get to that, but I think De Ligt is Bayern's best defender, just with all his foibles and whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
But then equally, I thought Leimer had at least on my television, Leimer had an absolute monster game.
Yeah,
he looked like the Leimer of 4 years ago before he decided to go to Bayern. I have no reason to believe he's going to do that again at the Bernabeu, right?
That kind of performance.
Yeah. So
but on the other hand, if clearly Real Madrid decided to play a bit deeper and a medium block and wait to see what could happen when they had the ball, and they had some good moments like on the goal, and the goal comes. Tuchel said something on Monday in his press conference before the game. He said the thing with Real Madrid is they will have the ball, and 10 seconds later they will score, but you would not have seen that goal coming. And it's exactly what happened, because if you go back 10 seconds before the goal of Vinicius, the first one, the way the two teams are set, where Kroos has the ball, where Vinicius is, where Kim and Dyer, okay, you can see that maybe Kim and Dyer are a little bit too far apart for 2 centre-backs, but nothing can tell you they're going to score from this now.
No, there's no danger. There's no danger.
But then...
Other than the fact that it's Toni Kroos.
Yeah, exactly. And Vinny. But on Wednesday, next week, in the second leg, Bayern can say, we take the 0-0. 0-0, we go to extra time, we go to penalties. So you can have the ball this time. We wait for you. And then Gnabry, who came on, I think would start ahead of Müller. So you will have Musiala, Gnabry, Sané, Kane to hit you on the counter, which is going to be the game plan for Bayern. It's very easy. And that's where I think they're going to try to counter them.
This would make for a very dull game, I think, unless Real Madrid score first and score early. If this is going to be the... I'll tell you right now, I think if Tuchel approaches it that way, like he may go through, and obviously we've seen him do this in the past when necessary. Bayern simply playing on the counter against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu is a really, really bad idea. In fact, I will go further. I would challenge you.
That's how they beat Arsenal, and that was at home. That's what they did.
But Arsenal aren't.
No, I know, but I think they have everything to be really good in transitions.
Okay. So, first of all, Arsenal aren't Real Madrid.
I know. But I think Bayern Munich have everything to be really good in transitions. That wasn't at the Bernabeu.
That was at home, right?
Yeah.
So, what I would add is that this is the Bernabeu we're talking about. This is Miedo Scenico. This is the myth which Tuchel referenced, which our colleague Rob Dawson talked about as well. I think, and this is why I'm generally against playing that way, is that at the Bernabeu, with 90,000, with that crowd, with everything that can happen, with the notion of Vinicius running at you or Rodrigo or whoever you want, it's very likely or possible that a call isn't going to go your way. And then you give something up. And then you have to adjust. And you're saying, we've set up to play on the counter. Now we need to go and build play. Okay, here's Kier. All right, make Kier. You go build it from the right back position, which is where he's going to play him, right? It's very difficult. I personally think you're better off doing your patterns of play like you did in that in that spell at home after the sort of the first 10, 15 minutes and impose yourself on Bayern, on Real Madrid. To me, this is a much more rational
It's
game
hard
plan.
to do, though, at the Bernabeu, for all the reasons that you mentioned. And I don't even think that this is what they want. You do that and you expose yourself to all the counter-attacking that Real Madrid is so good at. And you saw even on Tuesday.
No, but I mean, Jules, I'm not saying that you go out and you...
No, but you're saying that they should play the same way that they play at home.
They should certainly do much more effort to get the ball, create
I don't
patterns
know
of play. You can do it without exposing yourself. You don't have to go and commit a million men forward, but you cannot, I think, invite Real Madrid's pressure because there's so many things beyond your control, and you're not a team that's built for that. I mean, I don't want to see Dyer back. This isn't Bonucci, Chiellini, and Barzagli from like 10 years ago. This is Eric Dyer and De Ligt. De Ligt said it to himself. He's not comfortable sitting in the 6-yard box and just soaking up pressure.
No, but
Came even less so.
No, you can play in transition without waiting in your 6-yard box as well. I don't think they're going to park the bus and have 11 men in their own box. I just think that it would be very wise from them to let Real Madrid have the ball. And especially Vini is not going to play on the left-hand side. He's going to play central again with Bellingham, which again I know he scored a great goal, but it's harder for him to get the ball and face his defender and go at him when he plays centrally compared to wide, where you naturally have more space. And I think if you, from a Bayern point of view, I think Goretzka will start. As good as Guerrero was when he came on and his partnership with Leimer, I think Goretzka will start for him and Leimer to be that solid in midfield, especially against Kroos, and then you can manage that. If they manage well the first 20 minutes, I think they will have a chance on transition to really hit them, and it would be better for Kane as well, because Kane really on Tuesday, I don't know, he scored his pen, which was great. Bellingham tried to trash talk him, which was funny. Kane didn't even hear, because the atmosphere was so amazing, didn't even hear what Bellingham said. But I like the fact that Bellingham tried it. I like that kind of personality. It's good. Then Dyer tried to do it with Vinicius later. That's fine. But really, Kane was not that much in the game in the first leg. And I think by playing a bit more in transition, you will also get Kane a bit more. That will force Nacho Rudiger to follow him to drop when he drops. I think there's something good there for Tuchel.
I don't know. I would caution against that. We'll see what Tuchel does. We'll see what works out.
It's quite fascinating.
One of the subplots here was sort of Bellingham against Musiala, like the two wonder kids who left England and the riches of the Premier League, which is, obviously Musiala is a much more complicated story. But I didn't think either one dominated. I thought Musiala probably came out ahead. I thought Bellingham's biggest contribution, other than Kane trash talking, was a lot of the work he did off the ball. I thought on the ball there wasn't much there. Yeah. I'm looking forward to this, though, in the return line, because Bellingham v. Musiala is the kind of clash that we're going to get to see for the next 10 years.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, remember when they were England youth team teammates? Because Musiala obviously played for England before choosing Germany. And they were both great. And now they face each other in a game like this. Musiala much better when he swapped from the right onto the left. That's when he got the penalty. It makes sense for him to come inside his right foot too. And for Jude...
Why was he on the right in the first place?
I don't know. I didn't really understand why Sané was on the left and Musiala on the right, unless... I'm not really sure.
Wanted to get crosses for Kane. I mean,
but
if anything, Rudiger and Nacho are going to be comfortable with that.
They actually came more inside, both of them, in that first half, which, I don't know, maybe it was to control a bit more Lucas Vazquez and Mendy. I'm not even sure really why. But
you have to control Mendy for you. Don't do anything.
I know, man.
Sorry. Sorry for long.
No, but I don't know. But he worked much better in the second half when they swapped over. And for Bellingham, you're right. Off the ball is all great, and he's a machine physically. But with the ball, I was a little bit, a bit disappointed. I think the higher you play him, you lose a lot of the great things he could do on the ball.
And we had this conversation before we were casting the Real Madrid of the future, and I said I don't think he may not end up playing there. Maybe he shouldn't. With the guys who are coming in, like Endrick, and there might be somebody else coming from Paris, possibly. Rather than trying to shoehorn Bellingham into the position he played this year, just let him play in midfield. Let him be the next Toni Kroos.
He felt on Tuesday he didn't maybe have the freedom that he usually has when Rodrigo and Vini played at the front two, and he plays as a 10 behind in a proper diamond midfield. Tuesday was very much a flat 4-4-2, and he was almost up front with Vinicius in that front two, which I don't really think works for him. And yeah, he still has a bit of freedom, but not as much as when he's a 10 in a diamond, and I don't think that really suited him on Tuesday.
You know me, I'm always team Brahim Diaz.
Yes.
But
But were you surprised to see Jude coming off?
No. Not
For the amount of goals he scored late this season, I thought he might stay there.
you figure a set piece and whatever,
exactly.
he can give you something. But I genuinely thought this is when, despite what some people say Carlo doesn't do anything during games, I actually thought, oh, look, I'm going to substantially change this around with this move. And, somebody's got to come off, and given what was happening on the right-hand side of the field, it really had to be Bellingham. That was the guy you could sacrifice in that context.
Yeah. Same with Kroos. I mean, when Kroos came off and Modric came on, I was like, okay, but you take away Kroos' quality of passing. Not that I didn't think Modric didn't have it.
You have the guy who's bad at passing coming on.
No. But I just thought, okay, Kroos after the assist on the first goal in the first half. And then, if you remember, in that second half, Modric is on the ball, and is the chance that Vinicius has one-on-one with Neuer, that maybe Vinicius should cross for Brahim, actually, and Neuer makes a good save. But that ball over the top from Modric is just perfect, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's fine. Kroos can come off, Modric can come on and do another genius pass.
But we saw this in the Clasico as well. I thought when Modric came on, he played really, really well. Listen, if you can give me 20 minutes or 30 minutes as the old Modric, meaning like the Modric you had before, I don't need you out there for 90 minutes running around chasing people down, because he did a lot of off the work. He was really busy off the ball defensively as well. Final point on Eder Militao, because we had this thing where it's been 3 weeks now that he's come back into training, and people were even talking, could he play against Arsenal, blah blah blah. And we get to see him. He plays he came on for a minute, he came on for another minute. Simple question: would you break up the Nacho Rudiger partnership for the return leg if, let's say, Militao starts at the weekend, plays 90 minutes, and shows you that he's fit?
So we disagree on this. I'm not sure I would. I saw after the game, I was pitch side, and Militao was doing, a lot when the players don't play. They do a lot. They run and they sprint for the whole length of the pitch with the fitness coach and everything. So he looked great. He looked fit. He was running up and down for like 10, 15 minutes. And I think he will play this weekend in the league. I just thought Nacho and Rudiger played great against City together in the second leg. They played well together, as in, if you just think about them together against Kane on Tuesday night in the first leg, I would, at the Bernabeu, like you said, with everything that he means, with the way the game should go, I would probably keep them.
All right.
I know you would play the Militao, but I would keep them.
I would. I think there's again, if he's fit, ring rust, whatever, he's been training, he's been coming on in games. It's not like he's walking out of the physio room onto the pitch for the first time. He is a better player. He gives you more. I also, it's not like Nacho's getting any younger either. And by the way, in terms of breaking up the partnership, the Nacho Rudiger partnership has been broken up tons, even in the spell when he was out, because we've seen Tchouaméni, of course, fill in.
No, I meant more like if you look at the last two Champions League games where they played with each other against Haaland and Kane, and City and Bayern, they did really well.
Right. That would be okay. But
that's all.
We'll see what Carlo makes of that one. But for me, I think there's a risk in sticking to something just because it's worked before and falling into that kind of little superstition gap.
That is true.